afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Propagandacast. Lehr with me, your host, Imperial Dana, Master of Propaganda, covering here the Valentine Mark 11 tank available here from the Artillery Regiment Doctrine, costing 300 manpower and 80 fuel, available at 8 command points. That pretty much, in terms of resources, puts him in the realm of the T-34-76. Stat-wise, it's not quite there. It's sort of a decent tank for the cost, but it's not exactly going to, excel, and it's not focused on something you're going to be calling in the likes, like, shit, Harry Hunt's everywhere. It's all down to this. I have to go for the Valentine. I mean, if you're desperately banking on the Valentine to sort of save you, you're already doomed. I mean, that's basically how it works. Veterans-wise as well, it's sort of also the same here. I mean, like, so it's a rather important ability, I think, for it, sort of Veterans 1, but otherwise, it doesn't actually sort of get any boost there, sort of to combat. It doesn't get more accurate, it doesn't shoot faster, it turns the turret a bit faster, which is something, but otherwise it just becomes more survivable. And overall, its abilities are also very much geared towards support. So in a sense, I mean, it's a sort of a support tank, the closer you can sort of get to it for a tank. And even then, I mean, it's sort of tanky, but again, it's not going to stand up in a tank. It's sort of, if there's no tanks around, it's going to be pretty decent versus infantry and perhaps some lighter vehicles, but that's about it, really. In terms of abilities we get for some observation mode here, it sort of works like the infrared half-track, except it only works from the mini-map. And it's also a tank, so unlike the infrared half-track, this one can sort of turn off and you actually respond to the enemy. The infrared half-track can basically only pray for the rest of the Germans to help them. So that does make it a bit more different. I mean, it does mean, again, you can sort of keep track of it. Your opponent can also see where it sort of, is. But again, it has no sort of real effect on the actual map there. So, slight difference there, but still, quite useful. I mean, being able to see on the mini-map where your opponent is pretty helpful. It also has here a smokescreen ability, basically allowing it to lay down a large smokescreen using sort of 6 smoke mortar bombs. Note though, it can't shoot on the move with them. It's not like the American tanks, you just lay down the smoke screen while it's bloody moving. So again, you sort of move it up, fire it off to say support and advance, and sort of cover up retreat. But overall, it's not focusing on something you do like, well, oh dear, I need some smoke over there. It's no, you have to plan a bit ahead here with the Valentine. But still, it's a pretty cheap smoke screen, 30 munitions. Again, it can be sort of sizable, so it can be quite helpful for those who sort of really need a smoke screen and just sort of wants to plan ahead with an assault there. So that's another detail. And then finally, we get the concentrated sexton barrage ability. Veterans who want only 50 munitions, and like say the concentrated fire there, or whatever artillery calling them, they say artillery officers. Almost like it, except it's only for the sexton, meaning you rather need that one to sort of work. But basically what it does then is, it allows you to call in extra barrages from it, and again, if you've got more than one sexton, it just focuses all those barrages in one spot. So basically, it's there to sort of get you a lot more out of your self-propelled artillery line. You just keep hammering away at your opponent with the sexton, and that rather sort of where the Valentine sort of becomes a bit more special in terms of support tank. So it's a bit more, peculiar in terms of use, but again, it can fulfill a lot of roles in a certain sense. I mean, it can sort of skirmish, deal with certain lighter vehicles and infantry. It can, spot ahead for you using observation mode. It can lay down smoke screen to prepare for an assault, and it can also, work, to lay down further artillery barrages for you if you've got some sexton. So it can sort of do a lot of things, but very importantly, it can't take on another tank. I mean, it actually, surprising enough, could in the Alpha. In fact, it was better than a Panzer IV, which was really awkward, but thankfully not anymore. But basically, again, for 300 manpower, 80 fuel, you sort of get a decent support tank, which again can fulfill a lot of roles, can pull a lot of things, and again, it sort of really becomes better once you get Veterans 1 and then calling the section, because that way again, you can really just begin laying down the hurt and form of artillery on your opponent, making it harder for him to remain static or even do anything. So in that sense, when you keep those things in mind, you should probably do alright here with the Valentine. But again, don't expect to save you unless you're somehow being harassed by half-tracks and 222s, in which case the Valentine is there to save the day. Anything bigger than that, even a Puma's going to give it a bit of a headache, and you might as well be waiting for a Cromwell or something else. So, little word of caution there, but again, it's not there. Again, it's all the abilities which rather again puts it ahead of most other tanks. That is really the reason you want to call in the Valentine. But again, it can also work in conjunction with other tanks, as long as it's not what's drawing fire. It can flank, do some damage there, allow you to apply a bit further damage to doing a larger assault. But again, you need it to work with other tanks. It is simply put no gun in zone. And in theory, of course, you could try calling in a lot of them. Try to rush your opponent. That is a theoretical possible. I'm not entirely sure I'd call it cost effective though, but it's there for those curious. It's there. Also, things to note: the Valentine is not exactly durable either. It doesn't quite have the same health there as a Cromwell tank, for example, or Panzer IV, any of those. That's also a little detail there to keep in mind about the Valentine. Again, it's not frightfully durable. Then again, it's from the early stage of the World War II, so that's to be expected. But overall, I think that rather covers the Valentine and what it's capable. Again, it can do a lot of things there, but again, not too durable. Not something you want to really take up against other medium tanks or assault guns or tankers or the like. So soldiers versus infantry can support other tanks versus tanks, but that's about it really. And otherwise, you want to make good use of abilities, again, including the artillery, so you want really a sexton, but otherwise, observation mode and smoke screen, pretty good stuff there to utilize. So do try and keep them in mind, and you'll generally get, I think, a decent amount out of the Valentine tank. But again, if you're charging in expecting, something that's going to save the day versus enemy tanks, you're going to get sorely disappointed. So that is rather it. Hopefully this is an education. Hopefully this will help you get more out of your Valentine tanks in the near future. If it did, that's great. Feel free then to share the video with others so they can also do it. And of course, you're wondering how to counter the Valentine. It's a Valentine. Roll up a tank, knock it out. Stuke, knock it out, catch with some packs, panzer or whatever. Again, if your opponent is, moving about easily, it's not going to be a problem. Otherwise, trying to flank, hit it from an unexpected angle, single it out, then knock it out, then get away in those cases. But there you go. So, hope to see you all another time, and this is Imperial Dane signing off. Bye.